Well, hello again. We're going to be talking to you about your process speeches and have several things to say. And I want you to pay, again, I always say this, I don't know why I do, because some people apparently don't. Please pay special attention to what I'm about to tell you. Remember that you have to send me a note telling me you watched these little videos from beginning to end. And if I say something in these and you don't follow through on it in your next speech, then I have to wonder, did you really watch it? So let's give you a little refresher quiz on what to do so that I can test to see next time something comes up whether anyone was paying attention. All right, what do you do if you have a problem uploading your speech? Well, first of all, I wouldn't wait until Sunday night at 11:50 to try to do it. Secondly, on Sunday, and I'm not sure the exact time, it may be 5 o'clock our time until right around 11 o'clock, they have somebody on duty at Connect you can talk to. There's a helpline listed there where you go and load your video, and you need to follow up on that, because the first thing that I'm going to say to you is, did you talk to anyone at Connect? What did they tell you? You will also find out that once you try to load your speech, if you go past the deadline, it will not allow you to load the speech after the deadline. I have to reset all of that. And if you wait until the last minute if you're having a problem, even Connect can't help you very much. So, number one, if you have a problem, call Connect first. Then, if you're still having a problem, it's probably a good idea to talk to me. Don't call me at 11:30 at night to tell me you're having a problem. That's why you should uplink it sooner, and you'll be able to discover any problems you're having. But you have my emergency cell phone number when you're having an emergency to call me. Minimally, send me an email message immediately letting me know whatever the problem was that you were having. Second, do not ever take it upon yourself to post your video other than to Connect, unless you have talked to me about where that should be, how it should be done, and what you need to do in order to effectuate all of that happening. All right, those are key to that kind of thing. Secondly, view your video. You can look at it. When it's done loaded, you can take a look at your video and see what it looks like. We got a couple of problems with this week's videos, because if you would have looked at it, you should have been able to see what I saw or what I didn't see, which is even more important. So make sure that you look at your video, and when it comes to me and it's in the form that I've gotten some of these videos we're going to critique, I have to assume you were pleased with that. And if you were, then folks, we're all in trouble. All right, sources. Even though the assignment said you don't have to cite sources, as soon as you start to cite facts and you don't cite a source, you leave me no choice but to say this speech gets graded down because you're stating facts and you're not citing a source. Establish credibility right off the top. Why are you giving this speech? What do you know about it? How come you're an expert, whatever that may be, in this topic area? And tell us right off the top on establishing your credibility. Most of you, well, almost most of you, are reading far too much of your speech. You should talk your speech. Your outline gives you kind of the points that you are trying to make, but most of you are down here like this. You got to read this, got to read this. Then you look up, and then you look back down again to tell what the next thing is. You're reading your speeches. Don't do that. Don't memorize your speeches either. Okay. Look at the camera when you talk. Some of you have got wandering eyes. Your eyes are going around the room and everywhere but near whatever the camera is. And it's not just looking at your audience. I think some of you are looking down over there, up there, around, and all of that. And you're not looking, in this case, at me. I'm the camera, so look at me. Talk to me. The correct composition. All right. Listen really carefully to this one. See this shot right here? If you send me a video that doesn't have this shot, I will lower your grade, potentially to fail that speech. It's that simple. And I've said it time and time again. 1 inch or 2 above your head, bust line. This is the only shot I want to see from start to finish of your speech. Okay? To go with that, introducing your audience. The audience walks through the picture, the one we're looking at right now, looks at the camera, gives their name and their age, leaves. Do not, under any circumstance, turn your camera off once you start the introduction of the audience. So once you turn it on for the audience to come by and introduce themselves, until you finish your speech, do not, under any circumstance, turn that camera off. Some of you are doing that. I will assume that the audience is not there. Perhaps you even edited in the audience for another time. And as a result, you too will possibly fail the speech for not following the rules. All right. And then the final issue, I've said it in writing. I've said it in these messages. All class-related paperwork must come to me in an email from your Ivy Tech email address to my Ivy Tech email address. You have generally 2 outlines that you're sending me. Both outlines, all paperwork attached to the same single email message. Don't send me 3 email messages, one with the preparation outline, one with the speaking outline, one with visuals. One email message, all of the attachments attached to it. Send it to my Ivy Tech email address. If you post it in Blackboard, in Connect, wherever else you could post something, you will get no credit for having done any kind of outline or anything that you're supposed to submit. Now, I don't know that I can make it any clearer about how you get paperwork to me in this class. For the most part, and I've already told you before what speeches don't, you need 2 outlines. Preparation outline, speaking outline. Some of you are still only giving me 1 outline. Many of you still are not labeling your outlines. Many of you, if you turn in papers in an English class the way you turn them in to me, you'd fail the English class. There's a way to put a header up there with your name, the name of the class, and what the name of the outline is. Speaking outline, preparation outline. On every single page of what you send me. If I have to guess what it is, again, the grade is going down. All right? Also, make sure you follow the rules on Blackboard. You must respond with the first response by Wednesday at midnight. Do not respond to anyone who has posted until after Thursday morning. Okay? I look at the dates, I look at the times. Some of you are only getting 1 point for you posted something, but you posted it on Sunday night. Well, you were supposed to have posted it before Wednesday. Okay, that's pretty much it for all of that. Please pay attention to this. It is crucial. All right, first speaker, Winter. Winter, the camera is turned off after the audience intros, and the shot changed. Inexcusable, absolutely inexcusable. Never turn off the camera, and to really telegraph that you turn off the camera, the shot changed. You are not citing sources. You're giving something that is factual, requires sources. What else? You are reading like you are talking to an elementary school class. It's not, so children, let me talk to you today about. No, talk to us. We're all adults. Talk to us like adults. Your continuity is disrupted constantly in your speech. You're mumbling many of your words. Your head is bobbing almost all of the time while you're talking. And your voice pitch is far too high. And it was a very weak ending. The camera is shooting up. And you're standing in front of a window with light coming in from behind you. And what else? You said, now that you have went through all the tasks, grammar counts incredibly. All right, next up is Pirates. Pirates, great personal appearance. That helps a lot. You're reading too much. You need to shoot just a bit tighter. This particular speech demanded visuals. Now, obviously, if you got a huge task of some kind, you can't bring some things. I mean, you can take pictures of it, and you can show us the pictures as a PowerPoint or even hold up pictures of it. So make sure you do that. This was very detailed, and you haven't accounted in the speech for the variety of things you will encounter depending on the model of car you have and depending on the year of car you have. So you need to account for that. Be careful about stressing articles. And not a, and the instead of the, those kinds of things. So you're not going to go to the store, you're going to the store. You're not going to get a car, you're going to get a car. So, kind of watch the article stressing on those things. Next up is Haley. You have the wrong shot composition. The audience is never, never, never behind you. I've said this. The audience is always in front of you. Once this starts, I never see the audience. Not to mention the fact your audience looked about as disinterested in what you were talking about. Most of the time, they weren't even looking at you. So, another reason not to have them there, they're distracting. You're standing next to a bright light over your left shoulder. Your ESL is causing several lapses in your flow. Watch the tilting of your head when you're talking. So that when you're talking, we're not always getting, you have your head up, you're looking and talking. It's also a more firm approach to things. You're too detailed in the information you give. We're talking to a general audience. You're listing points without explaining their connection or need to even know those points, and you get lost in your own speech at times. You're throwing out an alphabet soup of ABC, FBI, CIA, and all of that without explaining what those are. Don't assume any knowledge on the part of the audience. Next up is Lana. All right, you have a grossly out of sync camera, which was turned off after the introduction of your audience, so you've got two problems. You should have seen this before you posted it for me or after you posted it and let me know something about that. I can't judge this speech adequately when it's so badly out of sync. You have no outlines, and there is not a standard camera aspect ratio. Aspect ratio is 4:3, kind of the rectangle you see. Yours is like 2:3. It's straight up and down. Be careful of that. Also, watch your background. What's the room you're in look like? And have some consideration for what people see in the pictures you're showing. All right, next up is Apollo. Talk to the camera, especially at the start. And also, when you're standing in front of a black background, don't wear black. Extremely distracting background. Why? If there's another side to that material, there was no reason for the images that were on the piece of cloth that you had in the background. Your flow is severely interrupted by your awkward pauses. You repeat yourself. You get lost in your own speech at times. You need to prepare your ingredients. There were a lot of awkward pauses and silence while you were doing the next step or demonstrating something. There were times when I thought that your video froze because you were doing something very slowly. You weren't saying anything, nothing was moving, and I didn't know whether their video was still going or not. I can't see all of your visuals because some of them you did down low, some of them you did up high. You brought back your thesis at the end of the speech, so you got some credibility on that. But you want to make sure that you keep kind of telling us why you're giving this speech in the first place. You kind of got it at the end again, but you got to make sure we understand that. At 5:44 in, I have forgotten your thesis of this speech that was having to do with less expensive drinks, but you brought it back in, and your speech ran quite long. Next up is Morel, M-O-R-E-L. I have no outlines. Extremely, extremely broken up video with no audio, and unintelligible cutting in and out of what was going on. There's nothing there to judge. You need to contact me about what you're going to do to make that speech go, because right now it's a failure to give the speech. Next up is Cowgirl. You get lost in your own speech. What is your credibility to be giving this speech? And you said, and that concludes my essay. that was your ending. Well, it wasn't an essay, it was a speech. So make sure you use the right terminology. Don't just walk in and start talking. Walk in, get your position, check your notes, look up, and then start looking at the camera. You're walking in while you're talking almost. You are stating facts with no source. There you go. Is this about all stores or just the one you know or work in? Your info is very specific to a particular store or chain. That's a question. Your eyes are roving while you're talking. Look at the camera. And you didn't have a smooth flow from point to point. It will say you know, and I don't know, so don't say you know when you're speaking. And who's the audience for this speech? You got to make sure that it's clear who you're talking to. All right, giving you a lot of stuff. Take a look at all of the things. Look at your speech again if you have any questions. And if I didn't get to you or I said you need to contact me, please contact me. All right, stay up with the discussion boards. Stay up with the exams. Check up on what the next speech is going to be talking about. If you have any questions, call me in my office. All right, we'll see you next time.